Okay, so, you guys that have been around here, don't make a lot of evaluations off of scrimmages until we go watch it. A lot of guys getting to play out there and first chance of seeing guys tackle, so that'll be a really good eval to go watch closer. So, like I said, this was an important scrimmage because there's so many new players, so many new pieces, losing so many people last year. So this will be a very good evaluation to go watch closely here today.
Hey, Coach, can you give us just a little bit of evaluation of your offensive line with Brooks going out, Broker not being in there, and the other guys still in?
Yeah, again, we're not playing a game today, so there are certain people we didn't play the whole time. Some maybe that were hurt that we didn't push to play, or maybe we would have been a game. Nick was not an injury-related thing, just wanted to play him a few snaps and get him out and see some other guys move around. So, I think that our first D-line, when they're playing well, presents a challenge, in pass rush situations, and we had some issues there again today. So, again, we're not game planning against our defense, so we would adjust a little differently if we were, but that's a good problem for us to have, obviously, on the other side defensively, because in my opinion, we've not had a good, rushers across the board quality in the 2 years we've been here. We've had some good ones, but not all the way across the board and with depth. So that's good because that's a hard position to recruit, especially if you're not just able to sign all the 5 stars. And that's a hard position to turn around. So you guys have done a good job recruiting, especially in the portal, because you look out at that defensive line. Majority of those guys were not signed here out of high school. So, and then Randall's done a good job developing them.
Coach, can you give us a raw evaluation of your 3 quarterbacks today?
Yeah, I thought the first 2 guys didn't play great, and took too many sacks, even though we're not hitting them, that would have been sacks. I thought Kincaid played really well. We play a little game in the quarterback room and predicting the MVPs for the days and guessing. And I would like to go on record that I picked Kincaid Dent to be the MVP today. And so that may have had something to do with the play calling down there to get him some extra touchdown passes to win that bet. But he did a good job, made a lot of plays.
Just kind of like all these questions, kind of eyeball assessment of the linebackers and secondary. It felt like there was some quickness to the ball on that side of it.
Yeah, we have some injuries in the secondary, especially at safety. So our depth is challenged there. And we gave up some bigger plays with the 2s, including a 99-yard drive. So a lot of work to do, and and some of the guys we didn't play all the way through, they're like Otis Reese also. So kind of like a preseason game a little bit, the way we look at it, kind of pro mentality. So you saw some guys not play or play very little, kind of like you would in a preseason game versus just playing them all the way through.
I know it's hard for you to say anything about individuals, but it looked like J.J. Pegues stood out pretty well today. What kind of camp has he had?
JJ has stood out the entire camp. He did a good job in spring, but he's really improved, and in my opinion, he's got a chance to be a really big time, D tackle in this league that's had a million of them and better than any conference. So he's got a chance to do that, and sometimes it's better second time around. So we lost him the first time and got him back now. So they coached him up, and now we get him back.
Obviously, you guys still have to watch all the film and stuff, but just impressions on the running backs. Also looked like Judkins was pretty. You've been talking about him a lot this over the last few weeks. Looks like he did what you've been talking about.
Yeah, Q has really performed really well for a freshman, especially. As you can see, physically he looks mature out there, not like a freshman, and so he's got a chance to be really special, and it was good to see him in a game-like situation perform like that. So he's got a chance to be really good.
I know receiver's another one of those spots that you had some guys injured, guys limited, but what you saw from some of those guys like J.J. Henry that were kind of stepping in and filling those roles?
Yeah, I don't mean to sound, just the same line on the guys you guys are asking, but you hit 3 in a row that have had great camps, and JJ has really done a great job in taking it to another level. So I like that because it's an example of a guy that stays, doesn't play as much as they like, and doesn't, just go to the next, take his ball and go home. He stayed and worked through some challenges and outperformed really well.
I know people are just getting back into campus, and you know that too. Are you happy with the crowd today, or?
I don't know. I'm not really worried about that, so I didn't pay much attention. I mean, we opened it up because Kyle wanted to be nice, so I'm sure everybody filmed today, and every opponent has our plays now, but we're just here to be nice to everybody.
Lena, I think Cruz was 7 for 9 on field goal attempts. He hit his first 7, missed his last 2. Looked pretty good out there today. What do you think about him?
Well, that'd be a whole season's worth of kicks the way we do it. So, you guys have heard the story. He beat us at FAU on a long one. He's kicked really well, really smooth. Sometimes you get good kickers, but maybe right down the middle and way over here, he's been really smooth and accurate. So that's been awesome.
Hey, you guys have also added a punter to your roster. Can you talk a little bit about him?
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about him. I think he was down at the frat house, like at a keg party or something, where they got him from. So we got some conditioning work to do with my guy, but we just said, hey, someone go find a punter around campus, and so we found one that actually used to punt in Division I. So you never know.
Anything else for Coach? Yeah. Coach, what about the freshman tight end? He's shown out there, but what about out here in game conditions?
Yeah, really special talent. Cool story. I think he was a 2-star player or something like that, and has looked awesome. And usually these guys are kind of worn down and usually not very functional at this point as true freshmen at this point in camp. And so to see him physically and mentally still going is awesome, and he's got a chance to be really good. All right, thanks guys.